What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, as the end of the regular season has officially come to an end for the Chicago Bulls, I think it's time to discuss it. Now, at the end of the day, it's a little bit of an interesting situation because we ended up having a worse record than last season, but we end up being in a better position. What does that mean? Well, we're going to discuss it a little bit more in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and how do you feel our regular season went. Now, with that being said, let's talk about it. So, what do I mean by worst record? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Last season, if you guys do not remember, we went 40-42 that season. While this season, we have a worse record by one game of 39-43. So we could not crack 40 wins on our season, which is extremely disappointing at the end of the day. And there's a multitude of reasons you could put down to that. But put it simply, we didn't change the team, and therefore we get a pretty similar result, if I do say so myself. And then we move over to, well, okay, we got a worse record, sure. Worse season, possibly. But we're in a better position. What do I mean by that? Well, last season, a 40-42 record got you to the 10th seed, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly where we were. This season, we managed to secure the 9th seed. So what does that mean? Not much in the grand scheme of things, but it does mean that in that first play-in tournament game, you're going to have the advantage of home court backing you through and through in that play-in tournament game. That's the real big advantage of being in the 9th seed. That's why I think a lot of Bulls fans were very happy for us to secure the 9th seed. But at the end of the day, does it necessarily mean much in the grand scheme of things? Well, of course, I think home court backs you, and I think a home court advantage is always lovely, but it doesn't necessarily mean much in the grandest of schemes. You can still lose that game at home and still end up walking away with nothing towards the season. So I guess in that regard, has this been a worse season for the Chicago Bulls? Well, I do have a video that I want to make about whether or not this season was a success. And I want to make that once we get eliminated, whether that's in the playoffs, play-in, whenever it may be. Heck, if we win the championship even, I want to make that towards the end. Because I have some controversial opinions, I guess you could say, compared when it comes to something like that. But ultimately, whether or not this season ends up being a success, or not even a success, whether or not this was a worse season, I guess you could say, compared to last season, will basically, in my opinion, depend on what happens in the play-in tournament. Because we did get 10th last season, ladies and gentlemen, but if you guys do remember, we did walk away from that season winning that game against the 9th seed. It was the Toronto Raptors at the time. We had the screaming DeMar DeRozan daughter, and we had the multitudes of missed free throws, and the Bulls did win that game, and we got so close to beating the Miami Heat as well, who ended up going on a massive run to reach the NBA Finals. I mean, that is an unheard of situation. Someone from the play-in tournament making it all the way to the NBA Finals. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to the Bulls, because I don't think we're good enough. I don't think we were better than Miami Heat last season, and I don't think we're better than Miami Heat this season. But what I'm saying is, if you could get into the playoffs, I have to say, just based on the progression that we have made, even if the record is worse, I have to say that we've had a better season than last season. Because making it to the playoffs is the ultimate goal for the Bulls. Because you can't really think of a championship because we're just not there. But the ultimate goal is to be in the playoffs and to get playoff experience. So whether or not we get there or not will, in my opinion, ultimately defy what's considered a good season or a better season than last season. Ultimately, I still think mediocrity is mediocrity. I still think it's very clear we went with continuity and we got the continual result of a very poor season, or a very average season to say the least, barely cracking 500. We've seen a lot of similar performances from last season to this season. Very similar problems. We could beat good teams, but we can't beat bad teams. We saw that last season as well. Having good runs, having bad runs, injuries. Again, all of these things play a factor. How many injuries did we sustain last season? How many season-ending injuries did we sustain this season? All of these things are huge problems for the Chicago Bulls. I really do believe so. And it does lead to where we are right now. So, that's what I'm going to say. This is a frustrating season. This is a season of continuity. A season where it's pretty clear and obvious now that changes have to be made. Whether it's in one direction or another direction, it's about time we pick that direction and stop waiting for the inevitable outcome of continuity to disappoint us again. We need to see better. We need to see improvements. We need to see a direction that the Bulls fans can believe in again. Staying the 9th seed every single season is not going to give us continual belief. But if you pick a direction, and whether we finish higher or even if we finish lower, heck, if you go younger and we finish the same, it will give us a belief at least that this Bulls team has something that we can look forward to. I just don't know if we have that at the moment. All we have to look forward to is the play-in tournament and potentially an early vacation. That's what a lot of Bulls fans at least have to look forward to. Is that the best place you want to be right now when it's playoff season? I don't necessarily think so. But at the same time, do you want us to verse the Boston Celtics and get destroyed? I don't know. I genuinely don't know how people are going to feel about the upcoming games ahead. But most importantly now, this is our season. This is what we have to deal with. This is what's put in front of us. Will it be more successful or less successful than the previous season? I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's an interesting ride, ladies and gentlemen. Worse record, but better in the end. Standings, better seed, home court advantage. I think it just goes to show that all of the East has gotten worse except for the Boston Celtics. So I don't know how that's going to lead towards the NBA playoffs and championships and whatnot, because at the end of the day, only one team can win it. And that very well could be the Boston Celtics. That could be any team in the NBA. Injuries will have to play a factor as well. Let's wait and see. Hopefully, when we get into that game against the Hawks, we could see a little bit more of a healthier team with Ayo coming back. Hopefully, Drummond can come back as well and really make this a fight that it should be. You know, I know the concept of the play-in tournament is often seen as stupid and not necessary, but the games themselves are good games. I haven't seen a play-in tournament game where I thought, wow, I've been massively disappointed. So the Hawks should be a good one. Let's put it that way. What do you think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow. And or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.